Hello and welcome to the channel. It's V here, ready to explore more of the incredible German history and culture. It's another amazing video today, and this one is titled The Dumbest Questions Americans Ask Germans. Oh my god. Well, I'm just so curious about Germany and I want to learn so many things about the country. Let's get right into this video and learn a thing about Germany today.
You know when people say that there are no dumb questions? I actually say that myself a lot. Well, turns out sometimes there are. Hallo, Servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. So for the fifth and last video of my Ask a German mini-series, I'm gonna answer this question that a lot of you guys also voted for in the poll. What's the most annoying question you get asked by Americans? Which reminded me of this TikTok trend from a couple months ago where people from all over the world talked about the dumbest question an American had asked them.
There's maybe like 10 of us all trying to explain to this American couple why they probably don't have fireworks for the 4th of July in Marrakesh, Morocco.
And I said I've never really been more than a city kid. Like I've always been either near or in a city. And she asked me, weren't you born in Peru? And I was like, yes. She goes, wait, I don't understand. Like, how are you in a city in Peru?
And then he
God.
said, oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, it's not pronounced Algeria, it's pronounced Argentina. I had to explain to him that I came from an actual country called Algeria.
So I decided that I'll be sharing both with you, the most annoying and the dumbest questions I've been asked by Americans. And of course, no offense to anyone who has asked me these things before. As I said in this video, I usually don't think that any questions are stupid, especially when it's about cultural differences and those kinds of things.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that doesn't mean that there aren't moments where I think to myself, wow, seriously? Still, please just take it with a grain of salt. Let's start with the dumbest questions I've been asked by Americans, and the first one is this one. Why do we call Germany Deutschland in German? I had never been asked this question before I came to the US, and I do understand people wondering about why Germany has so many different names in different languages, but I've straight up been asked before, so why do you have a different name for your country? Why don't you just call it Germany? Or why do you call your hometown this weird other name, München, if you could just say Munich? Number 2 on my list is this one. Hi, I'm Felicia. I'm from Germany. Wow, that's so cool. Like, have you lived in Germany before? Yeah, I was born and raised there. I didn't even come to the US until I was 22, after I got my bachelor's degree. So, do you speak German?
Oh my god.
Which language do people think once?
No, you asked me if I speak German. If I was there, I would have said no. I don't speak German, I speak English. Oh my god, what kind of question is that? Someone just told you that she has lived in Germany literally all her life. I mean, for a whole 22 years, and you're asking the person if the person speaks German. No, I don't speak German. I speak your local dialects. It's really annoying. Like, I'm not sure I'll have the time to stand and be answering somebody such questions, like answering such questions. I just told you, madam, that I am from Germany. So why are you asking me such stupid questions again?
Speaks when they're born and raised in
People can be
Germany.
really
Sometimes
funny.
the conversation even goes on a little. Yeah, of course I do. Like, fluently? Yeah, it's my native language. Like, my whole family is German. And guys, I've probably had this conversation 10 to 20 times in the US, so it's not one of those once-in-a-lifetime situations. I actually just had it again this past weekend. And the next one is yet another one that I had never heard outside of the US. And I've been to about 20 different countries in total. Hey, German girl, so what's it like driving on the wrong side of the road? What do you mean? You know, since we drive on the right side of the road
I don't
here,
understand.
so do we in Germany. Wait, I thought you guys drive on the left side.
Oh, you know, it's either the right side or the left side. So which one is the wrong side of the road? Oh my
I really
God.
don't know
These
why
questions
so
are
many people
funny.
think this, because I'm telling you, even Americans that know a little more about the rest of the world than the average American have asked me this before. But guys, it's mainly the UK and former British colonies that drive on the left side, like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, or countries in Southeast Asia like Thailand. But in Europe, we all drive on the right side, besides the British. Next up, I always find it a dumb question when I tell people that my name is Felicia, or Felicia in German, and they ask why I have an American name if I'm German. I know that's not a super dumb question, but I always find it a little ignorant. Like, so many names are names that you'll find in all kinds of languages, like Julia, Julia, or Anna, Anna,
Exactly.
or Peter.
Now, the long form of my name is Veronica. My name is a Latin name actually, and it's pronounced Veronique. Veronique in French, Veronica in English. But then Veronica, everyone knows it. You cannot be telling me that why am I answering that?
Peter.
Oh my god.
And Felicia has a Latin
stupid.
origin and shows up in all kinds of languages. That's actually one of the reasons my parents gave me this name, because they thought it might be helpful if the name exists in other languages as well. And well, they were right about that. And to get to
Exactly.
the really, really dumb questions, we're gonna have to go back in time a little to when I came to the US for the first time at the age of 16 to participate in a high school exchange. Some of the American kids were even younger than 16 at the time, and I think it's okay that they didn't know all that much about other countries, but I was still shocked by some of these questions. I got the classics, like if all Germans are Nazis, or if Hitler is still alive, but also questions like, do you guys have refrigerators in Germany? Now let's get to the most annoying questions I get asked by Americans, and
Oh
the
my
first one
God.
is more of a me thing, I think. I don't think that other Germans are annoyed by this, but when people talk about soccer around me, they often go, oh no, sorry, you guys call it football, right? So this football player, Lionel Messi, blah, blah, blah. Or when I say soccer, people often go, wait, I thought you guys called it football. And yes, I know that some Europeans are very sad.
What is the big deal whether or not it is called a football or a soccer? The main thing is you understand what I am trying to say. You get the information, you get the gist that I am trying to pass on to you. Whether or not it's called a soccer or if it should not be a
I'm
thing.
calling it football,
Oh.
but I always find this kind of annoying. Like, I'm speaking American English right now. Why would I call it football if that just leads to confusion in this country? I really don't care what it's called. I just want to make sure that everyone understands what we're talking about. Plus, no, we don't call it football in Germany, actually. We call it
Exactly.
Fußball. So I personally really don't care which English word I use for it. In American
Oh,
English,
really?
it's called soccer, so that's what I'll say, and that's what I expect Americans to use too. Then I find it kind of annoying that I always get asked things like, wait, don't you guys drink your beer warm in Germany? No, Kyle, we don't. I've addressed this topic in several videos before that if you're interested. Number 3 on the list of annoying questions is when Americans
warm
say
beer.
something like, so how are you dealing with all of our local accents? Like, have you noticed that some people will call it pop instead of soda? That must be so confusing to you. What accents are you talking about? Like, yes, regional accents are a thing in the US, but compared to pretty much every other country in the world that has been around for more than 300 years, Americans literally speak the same wherever you go. Like in Germany, we have over 100 dialects, and our country is smaller than Texas. Sometimes people speak a different dialect in the neighboring village with different pronunciations, different words, and different sentence structures. It's really not that crazy that there are a couple words that people use differently in different parts of the US. Given how big this country is, the amount of different accents and dialects is actually extremely low. And the same thing goes for when people say things like, you gotta know that us Americans, we use a lot of slang. We don't really speak proper English, you know. Oh, thank you for explaining that. Yeah, other languages don't have colloquialisms and slang. And last but not least, this might sound kind of mean. I think a few of these things actually have sounded kind of mean, but I sometimes find it annoying when people ask me about how authentic the German food is at a specific restaurant here. Like, it really depends on what you mean by that, because we don't eat schnitzel and potato salad every single day in Germany, and most of what you find here is traditional Bavarian food and doesn't represent the rest of Germany at all. So the answer is that in most
Oh, really?
cases, things have been Americanized a little, so that's something that I can at least judge, and it's it's also pretty easy to judge the pretzels, which aren't German at all at most places in the US. And beer cheese isn't a German thing either, guys, and neither is dipping your pretzels in mustard. But yeah, I personally don't love that question because it's just such a vague question to answer. And the weirdest thing is when people ask me about pseudo-German food that is actually from the US, like Geta, which is very popular here in the Cincinnati region, or sauerkraut balls, or the beer cheese dip that I just mentioned. And then people ask me how authentic that is, and I'm just like, well, I've never seen this before I came to the US. So those were all the things that I could think of for these questions. The craziest response on TikTok that I've come across, and several people have shared the same story here, is about Americans being confused when a foreigner explains to them that their family is 7 hours ahead because of the time zones, and apparently the American doesn't really understand time zones, so they ask, so why didn't anyone warn us about 9/11 then if they're 7 hours ahead? Yeah. People have seriously shared personal stories like that, and there are a lot more of those questions out there that you can check out. This was it with my Ask German mini-series.
It's so funny how these persons ask these questions with all seriousness. Like, why would you ask me such a question? One of the questions I get asked online sometimes is, in Africa, do you guys use internet? What kind of a question is that? In this 21st century, you're asking me, in this 21st century that technology is taking all over the world, you're asking me if there's internet in Africa. No, we don't use internet. We don't use phones. We don't use technology. We use leaves, you know. Oh my God. We use the strands of leaves to do whatever it is that we want to do. The questions are so hilarious, I must tell you. I am really familiar with what Felicia is saying, okay? I really enjoyed this video, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And please let me know in the comment section the dumbest questions you've been asked as a German or as anybody by a stranger. Let me know in the comment section. See you right in my next video. Bye.